Right, let's talk about one of your favourite topics, one of our favourite topics on this podcast, Pakistan and their travails in T20 cricket. They are not going to go through to the Super 8s, knocked out by the USA of all people, having lost that game in Dallas. Now there's going to be an inquisition, right? Pakistan's
Another
T20
one.
cricket, another one. Pakistan's T20 cricket, there can be no doubt it is stuck in the dark ages at the moment. Does it need a radical overhaul?
Yeah, I mean, if we were just focusing on the T20, absolutely. You can't continue to play a style of cricket that was being played in early 2000s or even before that. It is so outdated, and you keep bringing in coaches that talk about, front elbow and understanding how to get singles and how to hit gaps and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, everyone's gone way past that. So in terms of from a T20 point of view, there needs to be, I think there needs to be change of personnel, and I think there needs to be a change of mindset, and they need to understand what that is as opposed to what they're hearing. Oh, we're going to play fearless cricket. What does that actually even mean? So a simple answer is yes, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, so they definitely need a change in mindset. Let's talk about change in personnel then as well. Surely Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan can't continue to open in T20.
Well, I mean, look, if them two don't open, they can't play, right? So the simple thing is one of them cannot play, because where else
Why
is
not?
that?
Why can't you bat one of them at 4 and the other one opens, or you
But,
try and turn Rizwan into a finisher?
but this is the thing, right? If you want to, depends what your mindset is. Do you want to play the cricket that England, Australia are playing, or do you want to, or do you want to try and catch up and be better than be a little bit better than what you are right now? If you're going on a thing where you're going to change and be different, which is what's required, you cannot have the style of, no matter where you put Rizwan, the way he bats is not suited for modern day hitting, what we watch in the IPL type cricket, and that's where the game's going. So that's the first thing, in my opinion. Both can't play. Only one of them's got to play, and it can only be Babar Azam. There can't even be a discussion. The guy is the only world class player Pakistan has. While we're discussing all this, I'll keep re-emphasizing that just not very good. They're just not very good. This is the worst Pakistani team I've seen for a very long time. So from a batting point of view, that's the first thing. I think Rizwan's got to go. That's he can't play. Fakhar Zaman, he's still living off that Champions Trophy 100 against India. I think he's played nearly 80 odd international T20s. And if you've played over 80 international games, and your ex-coach who was with us on the podcast a few weeks ago saying, I think Mickey said he was something like 2 in every 10 or something like that, something along them lines, then I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Again, I think you've got to make a decision and go forward and look forward now. So I think Fakhar's got to go. Uthman Khan, I mean, whatever. Actually, the guy's a very talented cricketer. Did really well in the PSL, but the way he's been brought in, the technique and stuff, he's just not suited for it. And this was always going to happen. But Pakistan, in typical Pakistan style, brought someone in, as like this. The grass is green all the time, and it's backfired massively. And then spin bowling, big concern. Spin bowling.
Yeah, just to touch on what you said there, Fakhar Zaman, 92 matches, averages 22, strike rate 132. So yeah, you were pretty much spot on with that. Let's get onto the spinner. Where is the next big talented spinner at the moment in Pakistan? Is there anyone they can bring in and blood at this stage for the next T20 World Cup? Because it's pretty shocking the resources that they've had of late in terms of the spin department.
You know what? Firstly, Imad Wasim, he's come back out of retirement. He needs to re-retire. He needs to be out of the team. Not just as I mean, he'll always perform. You know, those that'll come back with, oh yeah, but he's a good cricketer. No two ways about it. But as a character, he should not be in that Pakistan team with the way, you know, over the last 18 months on TV and everything that's gone on. But and his fitness keeps coming up. You know that he's got injuries that he's carrying. So and also, you know, when have you seen in the past successful Pakistani teams where the spinner is, you know, is an holding type option? Pakistan's always had X factor spinners taking wickets. So I think
Well,
that's one.
you can have one guy who keeps it tight, can't you? Why can't you have Imad Wasim then with a wicket taking leggy? Because he's very reliable, Imad. He doesn't give away many runs.
He performs. There's no doubt about Imad Wasim as a performer. I'm not doubting that at all. But what, you know, as a whole, following it close, and you know what, as a character, he clearly has an effect on the rest that you know is impacting other people's performances. And you know, there's so much happening with Pakistan cricket. There's leaks out of the dressing rooms and stuff, and then all that needs to be cleaned up, right? So, and I think they've got to more or less now pick players on character, and sort of got even over ability a little bit and go with it a little bit in over the next 2 years. And they're going to need to bring in younger talent who are, you know, who are going to be willing to sort of, you know, get in with the team ethos a little bit. In terms of who would I go with, Osama Mirza, you know, he's got to play. You know, he's a leg spinner. So as we talked about again with Mickey, a leg spinner who whacks it with a bat, gives it a spin at a good pace. You know, he's playing all the top T20 leagues. You know, he's a well sought after. The thought process that he's not good enough to get in the Pakistan team is just bonkers, really. So Osama's got to come in. He's got to be backed. He's going to play. He's got to be backed. In terms of the rest, there's a young left arm spinner that played in the PSL, Mehran Mumtaz. Again, honestly, when I watched him in the PSL, the boy bowled at a good pace and spun it as a left arm spinner. He's got to be in again and backed and go with it. Shadab's got to have time out of the team and work out what sort of cricketer he is, because I think he's at crossroads. Because last few years he's definitely not been a bowler. I think sometimes the PSLs had such negative impact on the way the cricketers see themselves. So Shadab's batted high up the order for Islamabad, been very successful, and all of a sudden he wants to bat higher for Pakistan. Now, is he a batsman or is he a bowler? And I think he's got stuck in that thing where he thinks he's a batter, his bowling suffered, and he's playing for Pakistan as a spinner. So I think Shadab's got to have a bit of time out. He's got to go and play some first class cricket, but I guess he won't. I think he'll just go to the T20 franchise leagues because that's just the cricketing world now. So from a spin point of view, Osama Mir as a leg spinner, Mehran Mumtaz as the left arm spinner.